Hello, my yarny friends. I'm Sara Sach. Welcome back to my crochet channel. Today's video, I'm going to show you how to crochet the Love in the Rain wrap shawl. And I'm calling it that because I have this beautiful yarn that has gray tones in it, but it also has an ombre pink in it, and it's so beautiful. It reminds me of Love in the Rain. I think it turned out just gorgeous, but don't panic. It's not as complicated as it looks. We make rows of hearts and rows of lattice work in between, and it really is quite simple. Basic stitches, double crochets, single crochets, chains. The only part that's a little difficult are the bumps for the heart, but don't worry, I show you how to make those cluster stitches, and they're not hard at all. If you can make a double crochet, you can do that, okay? And I love this pattern because you can dress up your fancy Valentine's Day outfit or your church outfit, or wear a casual outfit, jeans and a tank top with a shawl. This is open and lacy, so it's great any time of year just to add a little addition of romance to your outfits. Sundresses, tank tops, or even sweaters will look nice with this shawl. Now the wrap shawl measures approximately 24 inches by 46 inches wide. And of course, on the blog, I have the multiples, the measurements, everything you need to make it wider or longer. All right. As always, I put that blog link down in the notes underneath this video. Just click that link. It'll take you straight to the blog and has all the information, including the whole pattern with pictures and the pattern all written out for you. All right, so what do we need to make this beautiful Love in the Rain shawl? So the yarn that I chose to use, I already had this on hand. I ordered this a while back because I thought it was just gorgeous yarn. This is the Premier Basix Marl, and the name of it is called Rose Quartz. And I want you to see this up close. Let me get this under my camera. It has these beautiful strands of shades of pink mixed in with this sort of gray color. And if you remember, we made our sweet bow out of this same yarn. I was working on this and I had some left, and I thought it would be fun to do the bow. And you could wear these together. It would be really pretty. All right. And I'll put the link for that pattern under this video as well. All right. So what you need is about 10 ounces or more, because it depends on really how long you want to make this. Because remember, the thought is you make your wrap as long as the person is tall. So I'm 5 foot something. So to make sure I make it at least 5 feet long. And I know that sounds like an odd way to do it, but if you put your hands out flat, your hand from hand to hand usually is the same length as how tall the person is. So if you want to know how tall a person is to make something for them, just ask them, hey, how tall are you? Anyhow, you're going to need about 10 ounces of any medium weight number 4 yarn. I think this would also look good in some of the variegated yarns, as well as some of the ombre or gradients, because it is such an open pattern that the hearts just sort of jump out at you. See the hearts? Isn't that pretty? All right, now I have a pin here. This is just a little rhinestone pin that I have on hand. I actually have 2 of them. That I like to use just to hold it closed. You don't have to use that. You know, you can just add any kind of a pen or brooch if you want to, but you don't have to. It's just something I like to do just to fancy it up just a little bit. All right, now we're going to be stitching with our eye hook, which is a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook. You need a needle just to weave in those ends, and then a pair of scissors. And that's it. All right, let's get started. We're going to begin with our slip knot. And we're going to loosely chain. And the reason I say loosely chain is because this is one end of our wrap and you don't want it puckering up on you, okay? Now, I'm not going to be making a whole nother wrap. I'm going to be doing a swatch. but you need to loosely chain 69 chains. All right, I'm going to be only chaining 27. All right, so we've made our slip knot and we're going to loosely chain our chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And remember, chain 69 chains. Just a little bit loosely. Now I have chained 27 chains just a little bit loose. You don't want them drooping, but you also don't want them too tightly that it's going to pucker up the end. Now remember, you need to have 69 chains for our beginning chain. All right, so now we're going to stitch a single crochet in the second chain from the hook, and then we're going to stitch 1 single crochet in each of those chains, working all the way across. And as you do this, you'll look and you'll say, oh, that's puckering up, or that's too loose. This is what you need to do on this first row, is just make sure that it's not too tight and it's not too loose. One single crochet in each of our chains all the way across. So we began in the second chain from the hook and stitched 1 single crochet in each of our chains across. And you're going to have 68 single crochets, because remember, you started with 69, then we stitched in the second and in each across. So you'll have 68 single crochets. All right, so now we're ready to set up for our second row. And remember, I'm doing a swatch. I'm not doing it as long as yours is going to be. All right, so we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. We're going to turn our work, and the chain 3 will count as your first double crochet on every row. And then we're going to double crochet in the next 2 double crochets. 1 and 2. All right, we're going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we're going to skip 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And in this next single crochet, we'll stitch 3 double crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. All right. We chained 6, we skipped 6, and we have 3 double crochets all in the next single crochet. All right, we're going to repeat that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, skip 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 3 double crochets in this last stitch. Or I mean next stitch, not last, because you got a lot of repeats to do across. All right, well, not a lot, but more. All right, so 3 double crochets. And so what you're going to continue to do is chain 6, skip 6, 3 double crochets in the next. Chain 6, skip 6, 3 double crochets in the next. And when you get to the end, you'll chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You'll skip 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that leaves 3 single crochets on the end, and you'll stitch 1 single crochet in each of those 3. All right, now you're going to have 8 hearts. And let me get my other one that's already finished so that I can show you. And I am going to go ahead and chain 3. So this is how row 2 should look. So here is my actual wrap shawl, and I want to show you we've done this row right here where we've started all of our hearts with our chain 6s, skip 6s, and the 3 double crochets. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hearts, and then we'll have 3 double crochets at the beginning and end of each of our rows. And so now we're set up to make all of our hearts, and then we'll do, of course, this, well, I call this lattice work in here. And so again, this is how row 2 should look. We have our 3 double crochets, chain 6, skip 6, and then our 3 double crochets in the next, and you have 8 of those repeats, and then chain 6, skip 6, and our 3 double crochets on the end. All right, so we're going to chain 3 and turn our work. And again, our chain 3 is going to count for our double crochet on every row. All right, and then we're going to double crochet in those next 2. And this time we're only going to chain 5. 1, whoops, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, now we're going to come over here where we have our first 3 double crochets. In that first double crochet, we're going to stitch 2 double crochets. 1 and 2. Then in that center double crochet of those 3, we'll just stitch 1 double crochet. And then in the last of those 3, we'll stitch 2 double crochets. 1 and 2. All right, and so now instead of having 3, we have 5. And you can see we're starting to form that shape for our heart. All right, so then we'll chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we'll go to the next set of 3 double crochets. 2 double crochets in the first. 1 double crochet in the next. And 2 double crochets in the third or last of those 3. Alrighty, more yarn out here. And you'll repeat this all the way across on each of those exactly the same. Chain 5, 5 double crochets, chain 5, 5 double crochets all the way across, and then we'll end with a chain 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we'll go right to those last 3 double crochets. There we go. Chain 3. All right, and so you'll have 8 sets of these, but you can already see it's starting to form the shape of our hearts. Okay? So you'll have 3 double crochets, you'll have 8 repeats of our chain 5 and then our 5 double crochets, and then you'll end with the chain 5 and 3 double crochets. All right, we're ready for row 4. So we chained 3, we're going to turn our work. Again, chain 3 counts as our first double crochet, and we're going to double crochet in the next 2. This time we're only going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to go to that first double crochet and stitch 2 double crochets. Oopsie, there we go. All right, then we'll stitch 1 double crochet in the next 3. 1, 2, 3. Then we'll stitch 2 double crochets in that last of that group of 5. And now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 double crochets. And again, you can see we're forming the shape for that heart. Chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and repeat all the way across. 2 double crochets in the first of that next set. 1 double crochet in the next 3. 1, 2, and 3, and 2 in the last of that set for 7 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And so we're going to repeat this across. Chain 4, 7 double crochets. Chain 4, 7 double crochets. And we get all the way to the end. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 1 double crochet in those last 3. 1, 2, and 3. and chain 3. And that's the way row 4 should look. And of course, you're going to have 8 of these sets across, where I only have 2 because, again, I'm doing a swatch. So now we're ready for row 5. And row 5 is the most complicated, but it is not complicated. You'll get this really easy. So we chained 3. Again, our chain 3 counts as our first double crochet. And so we'll double crochet in these next 2. Now we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to do 2 what we call 4 double crochet clusters. And you're looking at this and saying there's only 7 stitches. It's okay. They'll fit just fine, and I'll show you how. All right, so yarn over, go in the first double crochet, pull up a loop, yarn over, and go through the first 2 loops, but don't finish your double crochet. And we're going to do this 3 more times. There's 2, 3, and 4. All right, so we have the 4 unfinished double crochets and then the loop that's already on our hook. So we're going to yarn over, go through all 5 of those loops, and chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to do another one. And the reason we still have 4 is because we're going to go in that same stitch. All right, so we're going to go in the double crochet that we finished this one off. So yarn over and go in that same double crochet. And then we'll use those last 3 stitches to make the second hump of our heart, or our second bump. All right. Whoops, there we go. So again, I've got 4 unfinished double crochets in that loop. So we're going to yarn over, go through all 5 of those stitches, and chain 4. All right, so let's look at it again just to make sure you understood what I did. So we had our 3 double crochets, chain 4. Then we stitched the first 4 double crochets together with a 4 double crochet cluster. We chained 4, and then we did a second one going in that last stitch from the first one, okay? The first 2 bumps. So we chained 4. Let me show you again. And I'll try to go slow so you can see this because it's really not hard at all. All right, so we're going to use the first 4 double crochets to make our first 4 double crochet cluster. Yarn over, go in, pull up a loop, yarn over both of those, leave it on your hook. So we're going to make 3 more unfinished double crochets. Alrighty, so we've got 4 unfinished double crochets plus this loop, yarn over, go through all 5 loops, and chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to make our second heart bump by going in that last stitch that we used for the first bump to stitch our first unfinished double crochet, and then we'll use the last 3. So again, I have 4 unfinished double crochets in that loop, yarn over, go through all 5 loops, and chain 4. All right, and that is your repeat across. And now you can see those hearts. They just jump right out at you. They're so pretty. All right, so again, we use the first 4 double crochets to make our first 4 double crochet cluster. We chain 4, and then we use that last one, or the 4th, and then the last 3 to make our second heart bump. Okay? So it's really not hard. It's just understanding where those stitches go. So we chained 4. You'll repeat this all the way across on all 8 of your hearts, and then chain 4 and double crochet in those last 3 double crochets. and chain 3. So now we've completed our hearts, and we're going to be doing that lattice work up here, and then we'll start repeating with our hearts again. And once you get past this point and you've learned this part of it, the rest of it's super easy. All right, now we're ready for row 6, and we're going to start that lattice work. So we've chained 3, we're going to double crochet in the next 2 double crochets, and then we're going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, we're going to skip this chain 4, and we're going to go over here to the chain 4 in between the top of our hearts, humps or bumps. Okay, and we're going to double crochet. All right. Now we're going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we'll double crochet in the chain 4 between our hearts. And chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we go right back over to the next heart in that chain 4 and stitch a double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and so you're going to repeat this across. We skipped this chain 4 here, chain 6, double crochet in the chain 4 between the 2 heart bumps, chain 6, double crochet in the chain 4 in between the 2 hearts, and then we'll repeat this across, all the way across until you reach that last set of chain 4 and 3 double crochets. And you're going to skip this last chain 4 like we did here, and with that chain 6 you'll go right over to those 3 double crochets. And stitch 1 double crochet in each and chain 3. All right. So just to make sure that you understand, our chain 3 counted as our first double crochet, then we double crocheted in the next 2. We chained 6, we skipped this chain 4 and stitched a double crochet in the chain 4 in between the 2 heart bumps. Chain 6, double crochet in that chain 4 in between the 2 hearts, chain 6, double crochet in between the 2 heart bumps, and repeat that all the way across your 8 hearts, and then you'll have that chain 6, you'll skip that last chain 4 and stitch 1 double crochet in those last 3 double crochets. And that's our first row of our lattice work. Now, row 7 is exactly like row 6. It's just easier because we have all our double crochets to stitch in. Okay? So we chain 3, we turn our work, we double crochet in those next 2 double crochets. We chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We go over here to where we stitch this double crochet and we stitch a double crochet. And chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Don't want to get off. Okay, and then we go to the next double crochet and stitch a double crochet. Super easy on this row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Go to the next double crochet and stitch a double crochet. And you'll do that all the way across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All the way across till we reach that last 3 double crochets, and we'll just stitch 1 double crochet in each of those 3. So row 7 is a nice, easy row. 1, 2, 3, chain 3. And that's how row 7 looks. Isn't that pretty? All right, so we've chained 3. We're going to turn our work. we're going to double crochet in those next 2 double crochets as we've been doing. We're going to chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And we're going to come over here to this double crochet, and we're going to stitch 3 double crochets like we did down here. Only we're placing them into this one single one instead of placing it into a single crochet. So we're stitching 3 double crochets in that double crochet. So that's the bottom portion of our next heart, like here. So we'd stitch those 3 double crochets in that double crochet stitch. We're going to chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We're not going to stitch in this double crochet. We're going to come over to this one that is lined up with this heart. And we'll stitch those 3 double crochets. And chain 6. All right. And so these 2 double crochets are not connected. And we'll repeat this across, chain 6, 3 double crochets so that we're lined up with this heart, chain 6, 3 double crochets so we're lined up with this heart, and then we'll stitch those last 6 double crochets and then 1 double crochet in each of those last 3 double crochets. And chain 3. And that is the way that row 8 should look. So here is my actual wrap shawl, and you can see the rows of hearts in between the rows of lattices. So pretty, and I think this yarn is beautiful with the pinks and dark pinks running through it with this gray yarn. Now, so what you're going to do is we went up through here, which was through row 8, which was where we began to make our hearts again. And so what you're going to continue to do is repeat row 3, and you're going to continue to repeat that section as many times as you need to for your length of your wrap shawl. Okay, I repeated it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And so in other words, I have my initial row where we started, and then I repeated 8 more times, so I have 9 rows of hearts surrounded by the lattice stitches. Okay, and you're going to want to do that as many times as you want. When you get, let me move this so you can see, I haven't put the trim on yet. There we go. You want to end on a row of the lattice work when you're doing your repeats, because then we're going to add a row of single crochet to this other end so that it looks like where we started with a row of single crochets. All right, so continue to repeat row 3 through row 8 as many times as needed for your rows. And again, remember, when you're making a wrap shawl for someone else, it's a good idea to make it, the width of it, the same as the height of the person. If you're making this for a short person, they're not going to want one that wraps around them 3 times, right? You know, and so, and again, it's going to be approximate because we've got those rows, you know, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is 6 rows. And so you've got 6 rows to play with. So it's not going to be exactly 5 feet or 6.2 feet, okay? So keep that in mind when you're making this for somebody else. And keep your tape measure handy and measure as you go. I really enjoyed designing this one, and I know that you're going to enjoy making it. All right. Now I'm going to finish the real wrap shawl with you. I've got it all ready to go. I have stitched up through my last row of lattice stitches. And so now I'm going to show you how to add that single crochet edge on for your wrap shawl. I didn't do anything else. I didn't add any ruffles or trim or anything like that because I want these beautiful hearts to be the star of our show. To be the star of our wrap shawl. All right, let me add that last trim. All right, so once you have done as many rows as you want for the width of your wrap shawl, you're going to only chain one because we're going to put a row of single crochet. It's really simple. We're going to single crochet in that first stitch and in the next 2 double crochets because our chain 1 does not count as a stitch. And that brings us to this chain 6. And so we're just going to stitch 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 single crochets. Then we'll stitch a single crochet in the double crochet. And that's all we're doing across the bottom. 6 single crochets around those 6 chains. There's 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then a single crochet in the double crochet. And we'll just repeat this all the way across. And this will give us a nice edge that isn't too bulky. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let me make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need one more. There we go. All right, and so you can see, let me roll this down a little bit, that it gives us that nice edge without being too bulky. And again, this is very open, very lacy, and it's perfect for spring, perfect for that Valentine's Day outfit. But remember, hearts aren't just for Valentine's Day. We can wear hearts any time of the year. All right, so I'm just going to keep on putting this single crochet trim on my shawl. And then, of course, I'll have to weave in those ends. But luckily, I don't have too many. And so I have stitched this all the way across. 6 single crochets, 1 in each double crochet. And then we're at those last 3 double crochets, and we're just stitch a single crochet in each of those. Oh, almost dropped my scissors. That would not be good. Tie off, cut, and weave in our end. Let me grab a needle here. Alrighty. And make sure you weave that in securely because this is so pretty. You're probably going to wear it a bunch. And you want to be able to wash it without that end coming undone. That would just not be pretty. Alright, let me just go through a few more stitches here. I like to go through a lot of stitches. Alright. And now my wrap shawl is ready to be worn. Let me move my bucket here. Isn't this just beautiful? I just love it. I love how the hearts just pop out. And remember, when you put it on, it's going to pull a little bit, and those hearts are going to pop out even more. Just beautiful. I just love it. All right, so this is our Love in the Rain wrap shawl. Perfect for spring, perfect for summer, perfect for any time of the year. You want to add a little fun and romance to your outfit. And remember, hearts are not just for Valentine's Day.